For today's video, we will be playing Castelle Forest again. Castelle got one new card really after the mini, which is Great Fairy Dragon, which summons fairies for free and also gives you more fairies to work with. So that's basically what it does. The main body is like useful like sometimes but not often. But yeah, so because of its ability to summon fairies for free, stuff like Aria has become a little bit more playable in this deck, just because you can use Aria to give the 0 cost fairy Storm, and with Castelle to buff the fairy, even that 0 PP fairy can amount to a decent amount of damage, like 4 to 7 damage, usually around there. Other than that, it also helps making playing Sapling Stewardess easier. Sapling Steward, sorry, not Stewardess. Easier. So yeah, that's the idea for how this deck, I think, rose up to becoming a top meta deck for the current post-mini expansion sort of environment, I guess. But yeah, I'm not super good at this deck. This deck takes quite a bit of skill to play, and I'm definitely not all there. So for this video, it's more of a showcase than a guide. I'm just gonna be showing off my gameplay of the deck and sort of explaining what I'm thinking about. You can decide for yourself whether what I'm doing is correct or wrong. I just nabbed this deck. I just net decked this deck. It seems like a deck that like majority of the people who are playing Castelle have been using. So this is the deck that I've been playing as well. So let's jump into some games. Our first game will be against Dragon, of course. It's basically impossible to not have games against Dragon nowadays. It's easily the most popular deck. Most likely buff Dragon. We keep 1 PP followers that can generate cards, so stuff like Cannon and what's it called? The Fauna Handler as well as Stewardess are the Sapling Steward are the main keeps for me, I think. Lumera's not bad to keep either, but yeah, that's usually what I lean towards. So Cannon turn 1 is pretty good just because she's a pretty sturdy follower that can stick on the board. Not super easy to clear at having 2 health and 1 PP. And you can use her to chain to something like Salvia Panther in this turn's case. Even if I play Salvia Panther, it amounts to like 1 extra damage this turn, which is not super good. Plus Lily's not that useful against buff Dragon because they're just going to play Joe and explode your face for 12 damage anyway. So for me, I'm just gonna play Lily with Tempo here, expecting that they can't clear it. I feel like if they could have cleared, they would have cleared the Cannon, because that's generally what you do against Castelle, right? If you have a way to clear it early, you will try to clear the Castelle. So that, I mean, try to clear the 1 PV follower so that they can't play something like a Panther or a Tiger. So I'm betting on the chance that they don't have the ability to clear this. They could play Dion, of course, but then if they're playing Dion, they don't get the ramp out of it, so that's not too bad either. So I'll just go ahead and stick the Lily here for Tempo. It looks like they can't clear it, so they go ahead and play the Oracle here. So now that I have the Lily on board, I can go ahead in their face. So I just make sure you hit first before you bounce. Yeah, just a little reminder, I guess. Hit first before you bounce. And we go and play the Cannon, hit face. Pass our turn here. And Castelle is very capable of early aggro, so generally that's how you want to spend the early game, I guess, is trying to aggro your opponent. Of course, take care not to commit too much against certain decks. Against Buff Dragon, for example, they can just ruin your entire aggro career with 1 Draziel, so don't invest too much in the aggro, just like enough, I guess. Well, there's 2 Joes from them, so they are getting a bunch of buffs going, drawing a bunch of cards. Now here, I don't I'm not like 100% confident this was the correct play, but I'm not expecting to be able to win the game with pure aggro because things like Draziel exist. So instead of going face with those Panthers, I decided to trade and just make space to play fairies to sort of get my forestcraft follower condition, because you need to get the 20 to use Castelle, and I'm most likely expecting to win this game with Castelle. So I got my entire board to 1 Heaven Scale, which is, I guess, kind of what you would expect against buff, I guess. Hands looking a bit thin right now, so I am trying to draw more cards here, which is why I go for the Cannon and I evo the Cannon here. I have to draw something that I can use. Managed to pick up the Plumera here, which lets me clear the Heaven Scale, which is great. If not, I wouldn't have been able to clear the Heaven Scale, which might have been a problem for me. But This is a problem that I guess you run into against buff because you don't have like hard removal in this deck. It can be very annoying to go up against buff's biggest followers. Maybe you can save Lily for that, but Lily is such a loss of like tempo and like forestcraft condition that I don't really like using Lily for removal. You can go ahead and trade the Dragonborn Striker here so they don't have to spend their evil point on Dion just to clear my ward, which is fine for me. I'd rather not take the damage anyway. So we're gonna go ahead and poke them in the face for some damage while we try to find our good cards. I think this time I definitely played it wrong, but honestly this is a weird turn that I just don't know what you're meant to do. I don't think there was a way for me to clear this Striker, so I just went with trying to draw cards here instead. I pick up the Castelle here, so that's good. We have Plumera in effect right now, so we just need to find some storm generators or storm cards and we should be able to win the game. So this is my opponent's very interesting play. Go ahead and evolve the Heaven Scale here. Put on the Dion here and then hit me in the face. So if you look at what I am at now, I am at 22 forest class pros that have left play, so I am already at Castell's active. All I actually have to do is just find lethal. So obviously I don't have lethal on this turn against this board. So I go ahead and try to just stall instead. Go ahead and pop something with the Castelle, bounce the Castelle. Honestly, I could probably get away with playing one more Castelle. I play the Plumera here just to lower the health on the ward here. And I'm going for the board lock. I actually didn't need to play the Plumera here. I played the Plumera to lower the health on the ward and also to heal up to 20. But if you count the damage they have on board, they are at 16, which means I would have survived on 1 anyway. I don't think Buff Dragon has a way to deal damage with a spell from hand, like from this board, so I should have been fine there. So actually I could have saved the Plumera first here, and what the Plumera would have, saving the Plumera would have done was let me buff it with Verdant Prayer instead, which will give me the ability to clear wards easier next turn instead of just doing a 3 damage here. So I was thinking of playing Castelle here, but since I had Panther in hand, I thought I might be able to use the Castelle next turn. I go ahead and trade a fairy here. I already have 1 fairy generator in hand. There's no point in saving another fairy. It's not going to become Storm unless I draw Arya anyway, but it's very difficult to use Arya in this position with their board with so many wards. So I just stop here and pass. If you count the damage, I actually do have a lethal in my hand from this position with Castelle, bounce with Salvia Panther, play Castelle again on this thing. Then fairy fun fact, play all 3 prayers, evolve the Castelle, trade into here and then hit face with the Panther and the fun fact, and that is lethal. So yeah, I'm fine board locking them here. If they can't kill me this time, I can kill them next turn. So they do have nothing to do here, so they just go ahead and evolve the mermaid to like strengthen their ward, I guess, which is fine. Go ahead and go for a worm crafting here, just to, I guess, find their Joe or something, right? Another worm crafting from them. And then we get our turn. We had lethal as I previously discussed, but when I was playing this match, I didn't realize I had that lethal. I just thought that I will find lethal this turn or lose. So I just played my cards. I found a different lethal. This lethal that I pulled out this turn required a bunch of alternative top decks, I guess, which maybe is not... I mean, it doesn't matter, right? I had lethal like either way. So I used May here to clear that. Go ahead and use the prayer. Second prayer. So Plumera can trade into the ward and I can just evolve the Panther for a nice lethal. So that's it for this game. Let's move on to the next one. For this match, we are going second against Shadow. Shadow has quite a few decks and they're all reasonably popular. Helio not so much maybe, at least I don't think I use Helio much on ladder because it's so difficult to play. If you want to play a meta deck, you might as well just go and play Buff Dragon. Before I talk a bit about the mulligan here, I only kept 1 Sapling Steward. If you keep like too many Sapling Stewards in your hand, you have nothing to do in the early game anyway, so that defeats the entire point. So I only just keep 1, but I ended up getting it back anyway, so... I just go ahead and play the Fauna Handler. There's the Dark Alice, so we do know this is Last Words. If you have played Last Words, a lot of Last Words yourself, or Castelle yourself, you know that Lily is especially brutal against last words, so we're gonna be making good use of Lily in this matchup. Hopefully we can find her. But for this turn we had nothing to do, so I go ahead and sank a Frostborn Princess there. It's maybe a bit questionable to use it there as it's one of our few storm damage. But it's better than singing either Castelle or my second Steward, so we have no choice but to use a Steward there. We need to draw cards here to be able to win because our hand's not super good. So do pick up the Aria here, so we will go ahead and play the Aria here. We hold on to that fairy she generates because the first time you play it, it can evolve, so you kind of want to save it for the evo when you need it maybe. So I'll cast their Dark Alice, go ahead and get rid of my Aria here, and then they destroy it themselves. I guess to dodge a Lily from erasing the Dark Alice, then they go ahead and play the Lance and buff the Aldous, which is able to trade into my follower, but that's fine. So here the play gets a bit messy. This can happen sometimes when you're going second when you're not very good with the deck, like for example I am not very good with this deck. But yeah, I end up overdrawing a lot here, but I need to find my key cards here, so I'm gonna go ahead and play the Stewardess, try to draw some good cards, pick out another Stewardess, which I feel like you don't need that many Stewardess, you need at least one always. It's like you always either never draw Stewardess or you draw too many Stewardess. I feel like there's no middle ground. Very sad. But yeah, that's fine. So we go ahead and we overdraw a bit here, but I mean we already have Castelle in the hand, right? We're just trying to work on our forest follower count here. We also picked up Lily, so we have really the main cards we need for this matchup. We just need to find Plumeria and or another Frostborn Princess, but we do have Aria as well, so that's not super urgent either. So I guess the main goal is actually to just get enough evo count to make sure Aria is in fact active, which is active at 7 evos, but that includes her evo as well, so generally she's active at like around 4 evos at the start of the turn, so that's fine. We're just trying to draw more cards here, like Plumeria maybe will help, so we go ahead and use the Cannon and evo her. The reason why I don't, okay, I should probably mention this, that I could have played Lily and transformed the Dark Alice here, and that would have been fine, right? But it wouldn't have made full use of Lily, but I don't have a way to bounce her, so I kind of want to save Lily for after they start committing to board. So I'm saving the Lily for later on. Right now we're just focusing on trying to draw key cards, trying to get our forestcraft follower count up. And you can see there I actually intentionally milled the May that was gonna summon from my deck because I mean I wanted hand space I guess, but in the end I don't make hand space. I don't really need Lily in this matchup, so it's fine. So we go ahead and just play a bunch. We are at 4 evo, so we are definitely ready to use Aria once the Castelle spell starts being active. I'm still at 12. With this board it will be at 15. So there's the instant that from them. We were waiting for this point. They do pop out the Dark Alice and the instant that and the Colonel here. They don't evolve the Colonel, which makes sense to me. They can't save the evil point, but now is the time for us to use our Lily here. Unfortunately, I did mill Nature's Guidance there. I definitely have wanted that in my hand. So I go ahead and play the Lily here, and of course we're gonna transform the Dark Alice now. Doing this after they committed makes it harder for them to save up for later game lethal. I think this is just a complete misplay, but I played the I don't know why, but I was trying to leave an empty board for some reason, so I traded the thing, but it didn't matter. I played the Castelle here, which I do end up losing my Castelle here, so if they play something like Colonel, I might have been in a bit of trouble, but I mean I have another Lily, right? It's probably fine. I can just find another Castelle. Anyway, I'm like 16. I have 16 cards left in deck. 2 of those are Castelle. Chances of drawing Castelle here are pretty high, and plus we still have Lily as well. So the opponent goes ahead and uses Dark Alice here to hit me in the face, but thanks to the power of Lily, I take like very little damage. I don't even clear my board here. If you look at the number of forest followers I have the left plate, I'm already at 18. With these 2 on board, I have reached 20. I picked out another Castelle also, so like losing that Castelle didn't even matter in the end, right? So we go ahead and play the Aria here. Then we can go ahead and summon fairies to get a lethal. So that's example of an Aria lethal, as well as how useful Lily is against this matchup in particular. Lily is also good in other matchups that are heavily reliant on storm damage. But against Lances in particular, you can also transform stuff like Dark Alice to make life very difficult for them. So yeah, definitely worth keeping in mind this interaction for this kind of matchup. So let's move on to the next game. Our final match for today is against Sword, and we are going second again. So Sword has Rally and Neutral. I think Rally is a bit more popular right now compared to Neutral. They're both equally not popular though, because Sword's not in the best position right now. But oh well. So they go first here. They'll have a turn 1 play, which is good for us. We don't really have a good play either. We'll go ahead and play the May here. One plays the twofold Grey, so doesn't tell us anything. Both Rally and basically every Sword deck plays twofold Grey, so like not much information to get from that. Go ahead and play the Aria here. We don't really have another card we want to play this turn. Lily's probably best saved. We still don't know what deck this is. Really might come in very handy, so we're gonna pass. Go ahead and play the Fairy here. The Fairy can help us trade into this Kiyomi and clear it. And we definitely want to draw with the Sapling Stewardess. But we do want to draw with the Stewardess, but currently I'm trying to save it for when I have the ability to bounce it as well. Right, we have this ticket for example, I kind of want to bounce it. They played the Invisible Soldier, which is definitely an opportunity board lock if you are looking for one, but I'd rather reduce the damage I am taking. We're not as worried about them reaching Rally as compared to other decks because we have Lily to just block most of Twin Bladers' damage anyway. So we're gonna go ahead and just bounce this Stewardess, try to draw key cards. And then I'm at 9 cards now, so I will overdraw. So I try to avoid overdraw by using the Great Fairy Dragon here, I believe, to fuse 2 cards. Go on to the Lily because Lily is the key card in this match, but definitely a bit painful to lose the Aria there, but we kind of don't want to overdraw. We need to find Castelle. Or like just better cards, rather not be milling cards right now. One goes wide here and there are rarely 10 now, so this Monica is active, so I guess I just go ahead and use the Lily here to erase their Monica. Avoid having to deal with that. I think there was probably a way to just not have to use the Lily here, but I think it's fine. You can see my forestcraft follower play is still at 9. Now it's at 11. When it comes to Fairy fun fact, you can play it early on, of course, no problem with that. You generally want to aim for 10 forest followers having left play before you do play it though, because the card draw is pretty important. This card has like one draw engine, that's the Sapling Stewardess and nothing else. You can surprisingly like run out of hand cards very easily with this deck, so you should watch out for that. So make sure you save your draw sources where they count. I'm gonna place the Alwida here, which is fine. They're not at rarely like 20 or anything, so it's not gonna do much. They go ahead and save the evil point here, which is interesting. So just go ahead and draw here. I don't trade the Steward, the Fauna Handler there. I kinda want to use the Fauna Handler to draw. I can use May to clear this anyway, so it doesn't matter, right? Face. Go ahead and use another Sapling Stewardess. We're drawing a ton of cards already. We're 17 cards deep in the deck, so hopefully I won't need the Stewardess anymore, which is what I was thinking, but then you can see we still haven't found Castelle yet, which is not very good. Once again, we're just gonna fuse these Tigers to avoid overdraw. We have Plumeris effect active, so we can start chipping damage even if we don't have Castelle yet to finish them off. There's my opponent playing Twilight and Silver. Hopefully they don't pick up the Twin Blader here, or Lily's... I don't believe Lily's active right now, so hopefully they don't pick up the Twin Blader here. Yeah, Lily's active. So they pick up the Gawain here, which is fine for us. It's not too bad. Go ahead and trade here from them. Now twofold Grace. Time with the ward. Then they have a full board here for me to deal with. I think, yeah, I go ahead and play a fun fact. Try to draw try to find Castelle. Unfortunately, we don't have Castelle yet, so we go ahead and play another fun fact. Still no Castelle, which is not great. Go ahead and fuse 2 here. I want to make space in my hand to play Nature's Guidance to try and draw. Still no Castelle, unfortunately, so we go ahead and play another fun fact. Finally do pick up the Castelle here. Unfortunately, we don't have lethal here. So, this is another thing you can do with Castelle, especially against decks like Sword that don't have good board clears, is that you can just use Castelle even if it's not an OTK. You can just set up a very massive board and then that gives opponent trouble anyway, right? Go ahead and punch them for a nice 12 damage here. Big board here. They do have dashing duelists, but it's only maximum 4 damage to means these two are alive. Nano has Bane, but Castelle's wards can't be destroyed by effect, so Bane doesn't work against them. And thankfully she only has 1 attack, so even with the power of a duelist, they're still barely out of reach for Nano here. My opponent has Gawain, so just gonna use Gawain. Ward here, which is fine, at least we're not taking the damage to face. We just need to find our second and third Castelle. Well, one of them only, really, which is like within the next few cards, so hopefully we can pick that up. Go ahead and use Asuka and Shiori here, and we do manage to pick up the Castelle, thankfully. And then we can go ahead and play the Castelle here. Use Plumera to get rid of the wards. Then we can get a fairy with Storm here with the Frostborn Princess as well. Then go ahead and buff those up, evolve the fairy for a nice 12 damage, and Plumera can get rid of the ward, so this is lethal. That's it for this game. That's it for the games I have for you. Today's video with Castelle. I hope that even though it's not the most like informative or in-depth guide or whatever, it still gave you some idea of how this deck works, how to approach playing the deck. And also you got to see some gameplay of the deck to decide whether you want to play it yourself. I don't know what this deck is losing, but I don't think it's losing much in the rotation, so I don't think it's a bad idea to craft this. If you want to try it, you can go and double check the rotation if you want before crafting it, but it's a fun deck, it's pretty strong, and it's pretty rewarding to learn because like it's a really difficult deck to play. Like, I don't know what I'm doing half the time either, but when you do manage to feel like get it working and it feels really nice to play. So yeah, that's it for this deck. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Yeah, bye bye.